Let's talk about voice cloning for strengthened sonic branding. The thing here is that if you're trying to enhance your sonic branding, at some point you got to think about different strategies to sort of reach your goal, right? So in today's conversation, I want to talk to you about voice cloning, and let's see how this can help you, if at all. So here's the overview I want you to pay attention to. The thing here is that you can actually strengthen now your sonic branding with an end-to-end voice cloning infrastructure that's really happening in the industry. A lot of players are really making it happen, and we love the fact that the brands are embracing it. So whether you are a publisher, or you are an audio ad publisher or an audio ad creative, you will love to think about this sonic branding and how it can help you. The thing here is that you are able to keep customers engaged and connected with your brand, and in turn increase your revenue. Because the whole thing here is that if you are doing the sonic branding, your goal is to actually create the sort of chemistry between your brain and listeners, right? And what we love the fact that the AI voice cloning and video and audio advertising is really helping a lot of brands actually scale up their ability and their capability. And because the bottom line here is what you have: a very crowded media environment. You have an attention span that's just dropping by the day. Consumers are bombarded with a constellation of attention-seeking audio ads, video ads, display ads, and what have you. So they have to make a decision. How do you actually differentiate yourself? Well, if you use voice cloning, you are able to strengthen your sonic brand. By the way, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here into this conversation and really talk a little bit about sonic branding and voice cloning. The thing is, when we talk about audio advertising and sonic branding, we're speaking about a lot of things that happen at the same time. You have ubiquity. So because people can listen to content on almost any device while doing other things simultaneously. Think about my grandmother who's right now in the kitchen cooking a very delicious meal and listening to her favorite relationship podcast. Fantastic. You have a deep perception. So listening is a more active process than watching a video. While you listen, you need to imagine a picture. Therefore, audio advertising has a more substantial effect on the listener's mind, which is great for your revenue, your bottom line anyway. You also have cost effectiveness. Audio ad production ranges from $1,000 to $2,500, and so the average price of video advertising is from $1,000 to $5,000, even more per minute. So here is the approach I really want you to pay attention to. So the thing here is that if you are thinking about voice cloning, you have to think about how would that strategy or how would that technique resonate with your target audience. The bottom line is you want to create a consistent and effective audio ad, right? It has to be consistent. It has to be consistent with your brand. It has to be consistent with the tone that your brand has. It has to be consistent with what your audience is expecting. It's always challenging to find and sign the right voice actor to perform a script capable of grabbing the attention of customers and increasing sales. So the search for an actor, signing legal paperwork, and completing recordings require additional time and resources. And if you really think about it, slowing down the production process altogether, right? And if you want a specific person to voice your video, you can use a voice cloning tech to license their voice and then synthesize speech. No need for an actor to be in the studio. This is kind of cool. And what you need is you probably need like 30 minutes to 1 hour. We actually use this technology for our own business clients, and we see that this technology is really fast. A lot of players are use that in the industry, and the cool thing here is that you are able to get the original actor's voice, and you are able to replicate that voice within 30 minutes. Okay, and after that, voice cloning AI will create unlimited audio content based on the original, and you can find a lot of iterations, a lot of versions on the internet. If you need more help, let us know in the comment section, and we'll let you know which players can really help your business. By the way, boss, I want to remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about voice cloning for strengthened sonic branding. So how can you use voice cloning to strengthen your sonic branding? And one thing I want to say here is that there are a lot of steps when it comes to like when we talk about voice cloning versus regular video advertising, you got to understand there are a lot of steps in the voice cloning versus the video editing, the video production. And the thing here is that when you really analyze things properly, you realize that when you have to produce a traditional video commercial, that takes a lot of time. Because think about it, you have to create the script, you have to cast actors for video and dubbing, you have to find and organize shooting locations, you have the filming process, you have video editing, you have audio editing, and you have the final review. There's a lot, something you don't have with voice cloning. Let me give you a few pro tips here. The thing is, when we talk about AI voice cloning or AI voice synthesis, you are able to reduce considerably the amount of production work with the following benefits. You don't have to schedule actors for ADR sessions in the post-production phase, right? Because those are really done automatically. And the cool thing here is that voice engineers can do all of the editing work themselves. You significantly reduce production costs because you don't have to pay voice actors for additional time in the studio. Because see, the thing is, with voice actors, you pay them not just for the time they spend doing the voiceovers, but also the time they are in the studio sort of looking over the pre-production or post-production sort of briefings. You have to pay them for that. And the cool thing here is that you get almost unlimited speech editing options, which expands the creative possibilities of the director. And you can de-age or even resurrect the voices of celebrities who have passed or aged. And you have speech synthesis, which makes it a lot easier to work with child actors. This is especially true for post-production and ADR sessions. And I'm not even going to get into the legal aspect of working with child actors. But hey, listen, if you are serving a niche, or you are really, if your brand is serving a niche that it really caters to children or children-related products and services, then you'll know exactly what I mean. You can save time and reduce costs that would have otherwise gone to ad localization, including dubbing in foreign languages. So the bottom line here is what? The bottom line, you are saving a lot. If you're able to do AI voice editing, voice cloning, you are able to strengthen your sonic brand. You are able to optimize your sonic brand, and most importantly, you are able to connect with listeners in a new and fresh way. And this new and fresh way is really cool because you are doing so by reducing your production cost, by actually increasing your ROI, which helps you access more budgetary bandwidth to sort of boost your future audio ad campaigns. Let me give you the review that you really want to pay attention to. The thing is that when we talk about audio content, we're talking about audio content in relationship to geography and demographics. If you are serious about audio content, whether it is programmatic audio content or just regular audio content, or we're talking about sonic branding, voice branding, or let's say the ability to connect with your audience through various platforms, you have to really understand that the AI voice cloning is going to help you a lot, because you are able to save money, but you are able to address several parameters that are customary when it comes to addressing the pain points the listener is expecting. Let me give an example. Let's say somebody's listening to a podcast about personal finance. That person has bad credit, so his or her FICO score is low, around 500, and that person is looking for solutions to increase his or her FICO score. If you're able to deliver, let's say, an audio ad with the right voice, with the voice of a trusted celebrity, somebody who's trusted when it comes to personal finance in the States, for example, you will be able to reach that listener very, very deeply. And you'll be able to actually convert that listener real quick. So AI voice cloning is the key to a lot of problems in the industry, because it delivers unmatched benefits to both businesses and production studios. In our view, AI voice cloning is really helping you save money. And again, it doesn't matter whether you are a publisher, whether you are an ad buyer, an ad creator, it doesn't really matter. And because you have an easy production scaling, you have a very simple and affordable multi-language dubbing session. You have fast post-production. You have you have a straightforward process for working with voice actors. Okay, so this is really important. Now, one thing I also need to say here is that you need to understand the possibilities that lie within AI voice cloning for your own brand, because this is a long-term game, though. This is not a short-term game that you just come and play and then leave. No, you have to really invest, not a lot, but you have to be in it for a long time. Let me give you a bonus that I want you to really pay attention to. So the thing here is that voice cloning can really connect you with your audience in various ways. The thing here is that your audience is looking for a connection all the time. That's why they listen to a podcast where your product or service might feature prominently. Whether you have a business, a brand, or a project, you can benefit from scalable voice cloning as a service due to the significant impact it has on your sonic branding. Not only will your new cloned voice help your customers feel more connected to your brand, therefore increasing revenue, but it also will save you hours of time and money too, therefore decreasing your cost. And by the way, boss, I just want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're talking about how to use voice cloning to strengthen your sonic branding. And so the thing is, when we talk about voice cloning helping you reduce costs and increase revenue, you are able to do this through several ways. Let me just give you an example. Imagine this. Let's say you are the CEO of a small business and you want to create digital content for your customers or prospects in a way that fosters a personal connection between you both. Because you understand that you have analyzed your data for the last 2 years or 3 years. You realize that you are able to attract a lot of folks in your sales funnel, but you're not doing a good job at actually pushing them further down the funnel, like for them to become marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, and finally to go from leads to deal. So what you want to do here is that you want to really think about ways to actually strengthen the connection. Like, as much as you might love to be able to record yourself producing this content, you also have countless other tasks you need to juggle. So this can make it almost impossible to find the time for recording hours of content in the studio and then spend hundreds to have it edited and mastered, right? So what's the solution? By cloning your voice, you can streamline the process and automate the content so that it is personalized to you and your users in minutes instead of hours. And the cool thing here is that you can actually add your chosen sound design template over the script of your cloned voice and master it too, so the entire audio process is automated end to end. So this is really something you need to explore. Let me give you the winner here. So the thing here is that, is it really possible to clone a voice? Yes, it is. It's totally possible. But you got to have the right strategy. You got to have the right platform. You got to have the right tool. Based on our analysis, our research, within 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, maximum 4 hours, you are able to actually clone your own voice or clone a voice, the voice that you want to clone. And so the thing here is you are able to complete the cloning process using the base model of a male or a female voice and then personalize it with the unique data from your voice based on approximately 2,000 or to 500 to 2,000 to 5,000 recorded phrases. And so as you can imagine, the more data you provide, the more accurate and higher quality the voice will be, right? And so this is kind of cool. And in our view, we think that 2 to 3 hours are sort of sufficient so that you can actually deepen the granularity here. Now, there's no upper limitation on the amount of data, but the more the better, right? When you think about anything that has to do with artificial intelligence, the more the better. Because if you want to get granular, you better feed a lot of granularity into the system. And it's really important to understand that the process is pretty fascinating. You have a machine learning process that uses pattern recognition to find the combination between several data factors. So you are able to actually come out on top. You're able to provide the unique voice, the unique content, the unique delivery that you need to have to sort of connect with your listeners at a very deeper level. And one thing I also want to say here is that you want to actually make sure that the cloned voice is as real or sounds as real as possible. Because the last thing you want is to have some type of a robot generated or robot sounding data that will really piss off your listeners, and you don't want that, right? You want them to really connect with your brand. You want them to associate trust, to associate reliability, to associate peace and I would say transformative growth with your audience. And again, this is the kind of strategy you need to adopt. So let me talk to you about the steps here. So basically, how can you do this whole thing I've been talking about? The bottom line here is that, first of all, you need to start off by telling the platform or by telling the software what you would like to use your cloned voice for, right? This could be for sonic branding, sales and advertising, children's stories, or whatever your individual use case may be. So you got to really put a lot of data. That's what I was just talking to you about earlier when I said it's all about data first. You have to put a lot of data so the system can tell exactly what kind of goal you're trying to reach. So based on the use case, the software will provide you with one of the different scripts that they have and that the platform has, whether this is a sales script or storytelling script, for example. But again, this depends on the specifics of your request. And what will happen here is that you'll need to record the script of approximately 2,000 phrases. And as this is done through an app, you can do it from home using your mobile phone or computer. However, the best sound quality really will happen if you are in the most quiet place, because it is really important to avoid any of the background noises. And so once you input the data into the system, the system will actually start working on your data and actually refine it. And you should be able to see exactly, like after 1 or 2 or 3 days, a new voice model, so you can start integrating this voice model into your digital content. And so overall, this is a very fantastic tool. And so here is the decision that I want you to really make right now. We think, after doing research about this for the last few years, here are some best practices that we think are important to share with our clients. You need to know your tone. Depending on the use case you would like to use your cloned voice for, you need to adopt an appropriate tone. For example, just as there are different scripts for sales and storytelling, your tone should also reflect these differences. So if you are looking to clone a voice for sales purposes, it's just best to speak with an uplifting and engaging tone. Whereas if this is for storytelling, your tone can be more calm and chilled. Remember that consistency is key. When we talk about voice cloning, consistency is key. You want to eliminate background noise. This is so important. You want to eliminate background noise, and you want to complete it as quickly as possible. So the thing is that everybody's voice change slightly from week to week. So to avoid any inconsistencies, it's just better to record everything within 1 week, like as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just quickly talking to you about voice cloning. How can you use it to strengthen your brand? So I gave you the overview, the approach, the pro tips, the review, the bonus, the winner, the steps, and the decision. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remain marvelous.